contacts, and we also have on this microscope 2 cameras, so you can do 3D viewing. Hopefully the operating room, hopefully they're using that. We'll go ahead and turn it on. You'll notice when you roll this, it rolls very easily, which is great for a 500-pound microscope. On the side, you'll see, it's hard to turn up here, but there's a white button, a button that's outlined in white. When you plug it in, just briefly push that in and let go. And you'll notice it starts up, takes about a minute and a half to engage and to start. If you hold on to that side button too long, it will throw you into a login screen. I've only gotten 1 call on that in the last 5 years, but just touch the white button and let go. It's pretty important to do that in one motion and quickly. So you'll see it starts up. We've tried to make the software on this microscope really easy. So it's very similar to anybody using an iPhone. It's pretty similar to that. You'll notice in the top right corner there's a little gear. Hit that for settings. You should never need to go into those settings. The surgeons might do that. I certainly will make adjustments there, but really for you, all you need to do is hit start. So plug in, start, the light comes on. While it's starting up, I'll discuss what we should do after it comes on. Please turn the light off after you pick a user. So today we'll pick Dr. Carr. The surgeons will probably have their own user settings. And you can only access the menu from this side. You'll notice my card is on this side of the microscope. This monitor is the only one that has a menu on it. So let's turn the light off initially, so we don't want to burn that light while it's just sitting. They're very expensive. So you'll notice it's a touch screen. So I touch it. Here's the little cog. It takes us into that menu. You shouldn't need to go there. Home button takes you back to the main screen. Everything you need to start this microscope and to get it draped and balanced is on this main screen. The way you get to balancing is you just touch the right-hand side of the screen and it expands. And don't worry about coming up and touching and expanding. You can touch buttons, light up and down. Some of these other buttons, focus, light, link, the surgeons like to have turned off. They will do that if they want it turned off. To balance, so if you're familiar with a Pentero, you have to either put the ball in the box or there's a balance line. This microscope, all we want you to do is to put the microscope where this column is vertical and horizontal here, and then simply hit system. Hit start, and now it goes through its balanced gyrations. Pretty simple, easy to do. Again, if you get hung up, just call me, I answer. So it takes a minute to do this. You can do this after it's draped. The Kinevo does have its own drape. So this system has a little RFID tag. So there's a tag on this drape that should be placed on the microscope. I'll show you where that is. I'm not going to drape this system. I think it might be hard to do up here. Anyone that's draped it drapes just like any other microscope. If you want some instruction on that, we can do it afterward. I'll show you where the RFID tag is. Now that the microscope is draped, it's ready to go. You just want to test it and make sure that it's balanced. excuse me, it's balanced, not 3. So it's ready to go. We make sure that all of the binoculars are on here tight. The surgeons will check that, but you should also make sure that the knobs that hold the microscope binoculars on are tight. And now this microscope is ready to go. Bottom left is record start. Again, expand the screen. If a surgeon says, hey, I don't know what my hand grips are doing, it's pretty simple. You just touch the hand grip and a diagram comes up. Touch anywhere and it goes back to that home screen. To go from face-to-face viewing to right to left or left to right, you just simply touch right here on the screen. So everything we do is right on that first screen. You do not have to go any deeper into the software. We also have on this scope a 3D monitor that can be viewed in 2D as well. On the monitor, there's a big heavy cable. This is 4K 3D, so it's super clear. There's 4 cables. They're numbered. And if you look at the end of the number, it's there's a number 11, 12, I think a 15 and a 16. Those are also numbered on the side of the microscope. Right here, there's a video connection, and you simply just plug those in, turn it on, and you'll see the video playing from the microscope. This is a video that was done about a month ago. To change users, pretty simple. You just touch, enter a patient. It's right there. It's really simple. So simple, I can talk to you about it over the phone. It's all memorized right up here, right? So it's pretty easy. Here's some more video from cases. Any questions so far? Turn the light on and off. So turn the light off and on. Turn it up and down. So once we turn it on, you'll notice it's on now. Right here, we wish they would have put a light bulb there, but on the main screen, there's a percentage number, and it's in red now because I've got a warning set. You just touch that and you can increase or decrease that light. The surgeons can also do that on the yellow buttons right here on the microscope hand grips. They don't usually do that. They usually ask you, but they're right there. Everything that you can do, you can navigate this screen from the hand grips. They don't want to think about that, so they'll ask you. Again, when the surgeons come in, when you come in and turn it on, whichever surgeon is working, pick that surgeon. You have to do that first. Okay, so here's light up and down. They're going to use fluorescence in their cases. So for doing tumor resection, they might use blue, a blue filter. I'll go ahead and choose that and turn it on. So they might use a blue filter. You might be able to see that, it's pretty dim. They'll use a blue filter, yellow filter, or infrared. And on a Pentero, you have to go into the software to pick that. This microscope, there's a button right on the home screen, and we can change those buttons literally right here on the screen. And then back to white light. Touch and the menu goes away. On the drape, I'll show you where the RFID tag is. So after this microscope is draped, I'm not going to teach you how to drape today. I know that you all are pretty good at that. On the back of the drape, there's a white tie, and on that white tie is an RFID tag. You take this tag off, peel that off, and then on the side of the microscope, just under the on-off button, there's a spot that says RFID. Ingenious, right? That goes right there. You'll hear a tone. When you hear that tone, now the auto drape button lights up, and now the drape suction will start. So drape suction allows the drape to be vacuumed to the head of the microscope, so it's not draping, it's not down in the field. On a Pintero, that button's just available, you just hit it, and it vacuums that drape right to the microscope. Zeiss chose to go with this RFID tag. They want you to use our drape. So that's what they did to assure that you have to use a Zeiss drape. Just grab that RFID tag and stick it on. If you get close to the RFID and you walk away with this sticker, it thinks you put it on and then took it off. So I get that call occasionally. Just turn the system off and restart it, and then place the tag on there, and it will work again. So keep that in mind, or call me and I'll instruct you to do that if you've forgotten. I think that's it. Any questions? It's really a simple microscope to set up for you, but there's a lot of features on this scope that help the surgeons in surgery, and so that they can resect a tumor more. You'll notice that they've got the room lights down. You'll see green and yellow pictures on this case here. I think this is Dr. Carr case where he uses yellow, and he's a big user of yellow, I believe. But this is an aneurysm clipping that he runs sodium fluorescein through the aneurysm. Shutdown is simple. Put this back into the park position. So right here, I like to make sure that the foot controls are in the back near the handle, so that if I need to go from room to room, it's easy for me to use the brakes. The right foot pedal allows you to steer this microscope. So whoever brought it over this morning, if it's a long way, you want to make sure the foot pedals are in the back, push that right foot pedal down, and now I can just steer this microscope down the hall. It's over a long distance, that becomes pretty important. So put it into the park position and hit the button. You want to make sure any computer, before you unplug it, gets a chance to shut itself down. On a Pintero, that's really critical. This microscope, not as much, but again, any computer, you don't want to just pull the plug. So hit the button, walk away, then come back. After the screen's gone black, the computer shut down and pull the plug. I have gotten calls that certain applications haven't started. The other night we had a plug pulled in the middle of the case. In that situation, There's no UPS, there's no backup power supply. So if that happens, shut the microscope down. I know it's hard to do in the middle of a case, but you literally already unplugged it. So let it shut down, give it a minute, and then turn it back on. It should be fine. I got a call last Sunday night. Hey, this just happened. So doesn't happen often that the plug would get would get pulled, but it can. So once it's in this park position, now I can easily roll this down the hall from room to room. Obviously, make sure the other monitor is unplugged and shut down as well. On this monitor, on the top of this tower, there's a green plug. So when you turn this system on, plug it in, hit this green plug to turn the whole system on. You don't have to touch anything on the monitor. So right here on the top of the tower, push down, and that will turn it on. Any questions? Anybody in the room using this microscope every day or? Yeah. Okay. Any of you that have questions, let me know. I will be here, and I'm always available by phone.